It's News 360 live here on TV3. Good evening and welcome. I am Ayisha Yakubu.
And I am Crosby Annan, and these are the headlines of tonight's bulletin.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
NDC picks Executive Secretary for Water Resources Commission, Professor Alidu, to replace Dr. Murtala Mohammed Ibrahim in Tamale Central constituency.
Also tonight, 10 dead, others injured on the Cape Coast Accra Highway.
National Communications Authority yet to shut down DSTV services despite threats by Sector Minister following dramatic turn of the impasse.
Much later in international news, President Trump says Venezuelan jets will be shot down if they endanger U.S. ships. We have details of these stories plus sport and entertainment coming to you shortly. We're also live on all our social media platforms. Let's get interactive there on TV3 Ghana. Let's begin the bulletin from here.
We're starting off with politics. A political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Professor Alidu, has won the Tamale Central NDC parliamentary primary. Professor Alidu polled 840 votes out of a total valid votes cast of 1,501 votes to beat 11 other aspirants.
Voting, which was scheduled to start at 9 a.m., delayed for over 30 minutes. One after the other, the 1,551 delegates made their way to the voting center to go through the process.
To be seen as being compromised, we are not going to allow that to happen.
Okay.
Insist the right thing is done.
By 2:30 p.m., voting had ended for sorting and counting to begin.
92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100.
A total of 1,501 delegates successfully went through the process and voted. Political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Professor Alidu, beat 11 other aspirants to win the elections. He was declared the parliamentary candidate-elect for Tamale Central constituency by the Electoral Commission after obtaining 840 votes.
By these votes, and going by the simple majority, it is my pleasure to declare Professor Seydou Muhammad Alidu as the candidate-elect for the NDC for the parliamentary election in Tamale Central.
In his acceptance speech, Professor Alidu called for unity.
I want to thank my co-aspirants. They have actually conducted this campaign in a very decorous manner. They have been very humble in the way they campaigned, very generous in the statements they made, and very reconciliatory, even when people believe they have done things that wasn't deserved. So I think the way we have started, it is important that we continue with this tone of reconciliation, and then we work together as a party to be able to win the seat for the NDC.
A Deputy National Communications Director of NDC, Akugan, described the election as peaceful.
There's unity in this constituency, and this seat will be the hand for NDC for a very long time. In fact, the way the speech went, I think it has calmed us, and we pray that in the next 2 weeks, if somebody doesn't fire, then it means that he's a candidate for the MP elect. If there's somebody who is going to fire, because MP party that they are not coming here, but if the independent candidate or another party files, we will come here and support them, win the seat.
Some branch executives also called for unity.
The party will still continue. He should try and bring everybody on board so that the party will have one man. That's what I have for the MP, or the candidate this evening. So that the leaders of the party, Tamale Central, are oriented everybody. I'm not on side.
The Electoral Commission has set September 30 for the Tamale Central by-election. Meanwhile, the opposition New Patriotic Party has announced that it will not contest the September 30 by-election. The Tamale Central constituency seat became vacant following the unfortunate demise of late Member of Parliament for the constituency, Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Muhammad, in a military helicopter crash on Wednesday, August 6.
So it's finally over here at the Alidu Mahama Sports Stadium here in Tamale, where the National Democratic Congress, NDC, held its parliamentary primary to elect its candidate for the September 30 parliamentary by-election in the constituency. This means that within 2 weeks, if no one comes forth, either an independent candidate or from a different political party, but not the New Patriotic Party, it means that Professor Alidu Seidu automatically will become the Member of Parliament for the Tamale Central constituency unopposed. Trust your election command center to bring you up-to-speed information in this processes. Christopher Mwako, TV3 News, Alidu Mahama Sports Stadium.
And now, after the victory, let's take a closer look at the man behind it as we bring you the NDC aspirant for Tamale Central constituency, Professor Alidu Seidu, his profile.
Professor Seidu Alidu was a senior lecturer at the Department of Political Science and a research fellow at the Center for Asian Studies at the University of Ghana before he shot into the political limelight. He was a Donahue Institute scholar on United States political thought at the University of Massachusetts in 2014. He is a visiting lecturer to 12 Master of Research and Public Policy universities in Africa, including the University of Lagos, University of Ibadan, University of Dar es Salaam, University of Nairobi, and University of Botswana. He was a Maria Sebeya Marian Institute for Advanced Studies in Africa Fellow on Parliament and Democracy in Africa. He has worked closely with and for numerous policy think tanks, including the Partnership for African Social and Governance Research based in Nairobi, Kenya, Center for International Development Issues, Nijmegen, based in Netherlands, the Institute for Development Studies at the University of Sussex, the Institute for Democratic Governance, the Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, the United Nations Development Programme, among others. He has published widely on his subject area, with his papers appearing in Peace Review, Criminal Justice Studies, Transitional Justice Review, Journal of African Political Economy and Development, Contemporary Journal of African Development and Ghana Studies. Professor Seidu is also a known resource person, contributing his knowledge on politics and governance on TV and radio. President Mahama in May this year appointed him as the new Executive Secretary of the Water Resources Commission. Let's now take you to the central region, where a devastating road accident which occurred early today at Komante on the Cape Coast Accra Highway has resulted in 10 fatalities and 5 injuries. The collision involved a Mercedes-Benz with registration number AS 4146-25 and a truck with registration number GW 5958-25. The Mankesimfa rescue team was dispatched to the scene at 3:50 and found that most occupants had managed to rescue themselves with the help of passers-by. However, firefighters had to extricate 2 trapped persons who were suspected dead. 5 people, including a child and the truck driver, sustained injuries and were Let's go on to the phone lines now and speak to Central Regional Public Relations Officer of the Fire Service, DO2 Abdulwasiu Hudu. for more on this. Good evening, sir, and thank you for joining us on News 360.
Good evening.
Now, the number of fatalities kept increasing when the news first broke. First, it was 2, then it moved to 8, and now 10. Can you clarify this for us and tell us the nature of the injury so far?
Thank you very much. Initially, the initial figure of 2 came from Ghana National Fire Service, and that was the actual victims that Ghana National Fire Service extricated from the scene. Because we were called around 3:50 to respond to the incident. So as at the time we got to the scene, most of the victims had already been rescued or removed from the vehicles. So 2 people were still trapped in the vehicle, and Ghana National Fire Service extricated them, but later they were confirmed dead. But however, there were other victims that we met at the scene that were covered with cloth, which we could not readily confirm whether they were actually dead or not, but they were suspected to be dead, and they were 6. So I am sure that 6 added to the 2 that we extricated from the vehicle makes the number 8. However, we made a follow-up to the hospital when we heard prior to our coming, others were sent to Salt Pond Hospital. We got to the hospital and it was confirmed that 5 people were brought in from the accident scene, where 4 were in serious condition.
So the number is now at 10, is it?
From our records, we still have 8. However, we haven't been to the hospital after the incident.
So this 8, have we been able to identify them? Have their families been notified of the accident?
For now, as at the time we left the hospital, the family were not yet notified. They were still doing identification.
How about the injured? Do we know anything about them so far?
For now, no. But we know there were 3 men and 2 female. The female, it was a woman and a young lady, a young child, a female child.
But do we know what caused this accident?
Currently, we are not able to tell, and the Ghana Police Service have commenced their investigation to ascertain the cause of the accident. So we are waiting for their report.
Right, DO2, we'll come back to you to get more on that unfortunate accident there. DO2 Abdulwasi Hudu is the Central Regional PRO of the Ghana National Fire Service.
Let's now turn our attention to happenings within the Communication Ministry, because South African pay television network DSTV, they're yet to be taken off air, as announced by the Minister of Communications, Samuel Nate George. In a dramatic twist of events, the minister threatened to shut down the operations today, following a release in which the company denied agreeing to reduce prices of its packages.
Ahead of the expiration of the suspension notice tomorrow, MultiChoice yesterday reached out to the ministry and the regulator, indicating now a willingness to comply to address the pricing concerns through a consultative process, as was adopted by the ministry with the MNOs during the data pricing reduction exercise. The committee has a strict 14-day mandate, inclusive of weekends, to conclude its work and present a suitable price reduction structure for the people of Ghana by the 21st of September 2025.
On Friday, the Communication Minister held a crucial press conference announcing that DSTV had agreed to reduce its subscription prices. But just hours later, DSTV released a statement denying any such agreement with the minister. Obviously frustrated, the minister took to X, formerly Twitter, threatening to shut down DSTV's operations on Saturday, September 6. As of the time of filing this report, DSTV services were still up and running. Here are some subscribers still watching their channels uninterrupted. So, is the minister preparing to give DSTV more time to review its pricing, or will a shutdown be enforced before the day ends? Only time will tell. There was a renewed tension between some youths of Tontokrom and the military in the early hours of Saturday. This time around, however, there was no casualty. Last year, similar incidents resulted in the death of 3. Dispute over a concession has triggered tensions.
A 75-acre concession has since 2018 sparked an easy calm among 3 parties. King Solomon and Kasmil on one side, Asanko Mining on the other side, and in recent times, the Tontokrom community joining as a party to the contentious concession. In March 2024, an escalation between the Tontokrom community and Asanko Mine security led to the death of 3. On Saturday, a military deployment to the concession renewed tension. The youth who are miners want the concession for community mining. The Regional Security Council is currently investigating to identify the real owner of the disputed concession. We heard they were bringing military to protect their concession. We knew they had defied the minister's order. We saw heavy military men advancing to our town, but we remained resolute. Although calm is restored after the Saturday scuffle, the outstanding issue remained unresolved.
And speaking of security, the military is also on alert in the north following suspected movement of armed individuals along Ghana's northern borders. Ghana's Army Northern Commanders undertaking long-range patrols along the Ghana, Burkina Faso and Togo borders. The patrols are aimed at strengthening national security and the protection of the northern frontiers. Upper East Regional Correspondent Castro Senyala has more in this report.
With their guns strapped tight and boots pounding the ground, officers and troops from the 11th and 12th Mechanized Battalions of the Ghana Armed Forces are on a mission deep in the borderlands between Ghana, Burkina Faso, and Togo. For several months, the troops have patrolled rugged terrains and forested areas in border communities such as Kayoro, Penda, Mayoro, Bongosoin, Kulungungu, and Pulmankom relentlessly. These long-range patrols are part of a wider operational strategy, not just to monitor and detect activities of terrorists, but to dominate the space, deter infiltration, and dismantle any sleeper cells before they strike.
This place is forest, so normally the locals don't come here frequently. Because there is a problem in Burkina Faso, and some of them speak the language they speak. Sometimes they will want to make contact with them, either to buy items from them or even send them to buy things for them.
The patrols form part of the Army's broader operational strategy aimed at bolstering surveillance and ensuring a sustained military presence in key border communities. The troops make unannounced stops in border communities, engaging the local population, raising awareness, and urging them to stay vigilant.
In Ghana, we are saying something like, see something, say something, and do something. So whatever they see and they are not sure, they should contact you, the community leaders, and for you to contact the police and the military because you have our numbers. Then we can quickly come in and then make sure that they continue to enjoy the peace as we also enjoy our peace in Ghana.
Border towns have lived under a cloud of fear as extremist violence surge across neighboring Burkina Faso and Togo, stifling trade and threatening lives. But now, the military's presence is bringing hope to these border communities.
The presence of the military, Ghana forces, has really made our place a safe area. Their presence has put in more things to us so that we'll be able to know those people who are the strange ones and then those who are already here. And we are much happy and we are appreciating whatever they are doing. This one will make sure that, yes, we really know that we are there and we are being protected by them. And we too also make sure that any information we have, we will tell them, we will alert them to also come to our aim and help us.
This boots-on-the-ground approach is part of the Ghana Armed Forces' broader security strategy to shield the country from the growing Sahelian threats. Brigadier General Walanyo Agwebo, the General Officer Commanding of the Northern Command, says the Army remains committed to maintaining robust surveillance and regular combat patrols.
The conflict is such that it's not defined. You don't know where the enemy is coming from. Therefore, they should serve as a source of information to us so that we can be able to quickly come in when there's a problem. I saw the force I brought with. Sacking them is very easy. Dealing with them is very easy.
As instability grows across West Africa's northern belt, the Ghana Armed Forces are standing by strong, guarding the borders, securing the homeland, and giving communities a reason to hope. Reporting from Bongo Soin in the Upper East region, I am Castro Sinyala for TV3.
And in the Savannah region, residents of Bole, Sola, and adjoining communities are urging the Interior Minister to review the curfew imposed on the areas following recent communal conflicts. The renewed call is reinforced by the return of peace to the areas as the police special operations team intensifies security in the communities.
As part of ongoing efforts to enforce curfew regulations and promote peace and public safety, the IGP Special Operations Team has been conducting thorough and intensive day and night patrols in the affected areas. Peace has largely returned, while background dialogue between the feuding factions is ongoing, with deliberate efforts to achieve lasting reconciliation. The police say security has been heightened in the region, especially now that schools have reopened.
Like 6 to 6, it always disturb our businesses. Like I would say that early done like this, school reopening. So far as school reopen, then we have to send our children in the school because the curfew is 6. You can't come out.
It's good. They should curfew sometimes to calm people down. And when you look at the other side of the curfew, it's not helping with the youth because some of us, our daily activities that we do depend on the time we use, the normal time we use to do it.
As a result, officers have engaged community members in town hall-style meetings to prioritize the safety of pupils and teachers in the region. The engagement was held at the instance of the Chief Imam of Bole and his Council of Elders. The Bole Chief Imam raised serious concerns about the adverse effects of the curfew on religious activities, especially dawn, Fajr, and evening Maghrib and Isha prayers, which have been significantly disrupted. They appealed to the government and the Interior Minister to consider a total withdrawal of the curfew, citing that the community is now living in peace, harmony and mutual understanding.
Actually, we are not fighting. There's no shooting, there's no anything within this community or around the community. So, but the curfew is actually restricting our movement. If you look at this Islam lesson, prayers is what we normally cherish. However, the time has actually constrained us. Maghrib time, we cannot get it to pray at the right time. The same way Isha, we can't get it. And finally, that of the Fajr prayers, we don't get it to pray. We are only pleading on you, if you can also take our voice to your superiors, so that at least they will help to either remove the curfew or you shift it a bit, so that at the end there will be peace and then maybe harmony within the community.
Some residents, however, had other concerns.
Actually, the intervention of the curfew has really affected our business. With the mobile money activities, actually sometimes it's in the evening we normally get customers, and early in the morning, immediately after 5, sometimes 5:30, the travelers comes around to do transactions. But with the intervention of the curfew, we don't get to do those transactions. And it has really drawn our business
back. Sesi a curfew no, yes remo, bibia ni ho bibia da dim. Enti ya famo achao, munyi curfew no yes remo. Kurom no yes remo eda di bibia ni ho biem.
The high-impact operation conducted with a peace-building approach aimed at deterring criminal activities while strengthening community trust and ensuring compliance with existing curfew laws. In the evening, 89 personnel were deployed for night patrols, supported by a robust fleet of 8 service vehicles and 10 motorbikes, ensuring effective mobility and a strong operational presence across the region. The patrols covered key locations within Bole and extended to remote communities near the jurisdictional boundaries. Security hotspots were given particular attention with a focus on visibility, crime deterrence, and rapid response capabilities. During the course of the patrol, a rider operating a black scooter mini motorbike with registration number MS233-225 fled upon noticing the presence of the police, abandoning the motorbike in the process. The bike was retrieved and transferred to the Bole District Police Command for safekeeping, while the police activated its intelligence squad to trace the owner. However, all communities visited during the patrol were reported to be calm and orderly.
Let's keep on with the monitoring of the terrain. Let's keep on putting up our best so that at the end of the day, when everything is okay, we can say we have done our part in helping in resolving the conflict in this area.
While residents remain hopeful that the Interior Ministry will ease the restrictions, security officials insist that the curfew remains a necessary safeguard until the peace process is fully consolidated. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News.
Let's shift from security to culture. Tradition defines the way and life of a group of people. For the Ga Dangbes, these traditions, inclusive of the revered Homowo celebration, are an important part of their existence, which should not die. But with globalization and the infusion of modernity in everyday life, does the Homowo celebration stand a risk of losing some of its core values? Joycelyn Ajoko and Num observed the Homowo festivities in La and has more here.
It is a celebration of abundance where the living take aim at hunger and hoot at it. Homowo, the annual tradition of the Ga Adangbe ethnic group, every year lights up the capital as color, splendor, and rich tradition take center stage. But in the era of modernity, how much of the tradition of Homowo has been diluted? And La, one of the vibrant Ga communities, every day in the week-long celebration has spiritual symbolism. Loritamo, known as the Homecoming, kick-started the celebration with farmers from all of La showcasing their harvest and giving thanks. By evening, the last compatriots from Brikusu arrive, carrying the sacred items for sacrifice and purification. Deep into the night, the women from families and over 100 clan houses commence cooking the traditional Bikbili meal, a dish prepared from maize powder, palm oil, and okra, served with rich palm nut soup. By morning, the Wulumo, the chief priest, leads the way in the sacred sprinkling, followed by the kingmaker of La and other spiritual heads, all performing the ritual in their homes and jurisdictions. Only after this ritual can the freshly prepared quickly become the delicacy it is best known as. By Wednesday, more rituals are performed with the chief priest initiating the commencement of the new year via a spiritual wedding. This ritual constitutes the sacred dance, Lakba Solimo, involving the chief priest, king, and other spiritual heads. The dance continues until evening, initiating the beginning of Ashaga, also known as Shagamo. The significance of the act to foster unity and breed forgiveness. By the fourth day, the festivities take up a reflective mood. Indigenes return to their clan houses and seek blessings for the new year. The festivities all end with the lifting and the ban on drumming and noise making slated for September 5 of this year. With modernity influencing culture, Member of Parliament for the area believes the true tenets of Homowo still remains.
Year after year, what we have been doing, we keep on doing it, we repeat it, and year after year, we move on. And one thing that I was scared that modernization would take away is the preparing of the pekle. And so 3 years down the line, now I've taken it upon myself, and I organized pekle competitions among the 8 quarters of La Place 1, Sanchi, making it 9. And I don't want Homowo to, because of modernization, will not be able to celebrate that one. But I want to encourage everybody. It is not fetish. Most of the time, people will say Homowo is fetish. What about the other tribes? Yes, it's tribes, and ours is a similar child.
For the kingmaker, there exists the challenge of fighting off the infusion of modernity in the sacred practices.
Modernization, what I would say has affected our culture is mostly with Christianity, because with the introduction of Christianity, our customs were thought to be pagan, and then people thought they were not good, and they were fetish, so they distanced themselves from it. So in a way, modernization has affected it, but we've tried our best to maintain the sanctity.
Businessman Daniel Macaulay, however, believes technology must be a tool to preserve that which is sacred to the Ga people.
Technology, yes, but we can turn it into a very positive way. So we have to educate our kids to respect and understand the culture, to know the meaning of the culture. We, the parents, are failing. It's not about our kids, it's us, the parents. I mean, nowadays we don't even speak Ga language with our children in the home anymore. And this is our place, and we cannot afford to lose it. When we lose it, posterity will judge some of us, the fathers.
The Ga culture, according to many indigents, must be protected. Festivals like the Homowo mean more than just a celebration. To its people, it must be a rallying point to safeguard that which could be lost, if not jealously protected.
Meanwhile, the annual festival-related clashes that characterize the Homowo celebrations in some Ga communities have raised serious concerns about public safety and the enforcement of gun laws. International security and conflict resolution expert Dr. Vladimir Nchidanso has called for a change in approach and clear jurisdictional boundaries for the sprinkling of Kpokpoe, a ritual that has led to the death of 6 persons.
The Homowo festival is celebrated by the Ga people in the Greater Accra region, and it is observed by communities that have recognized chiefs. It comes with different rituals, one of which is the sprinkling of the Kpokpoe, a symbolic act of communion between the living and the dead. From Teshimami to Omanjo Dweneoho, the ritual sprinkling turned violent and killed 3 persons each from these 2 communities. Disagreements over which chief can sprinkle at what end have largely caused these disturbances.
Within the Ga state, you see that almost every enclave has a problem of succession. Number 2 is the jurisdiction. Who has the right to sprinkle the Kpokpoe, and at which places does he have to do this? If you veer into somebody's jurisdiction, it brings about conflict. In the old times, I believe these conflicts were there, but on a different level. That people will fight with stones and fisticuffs and that kind of thing. But today, they have what to recourse to just take the gun and kill.
Despite intelligence gathering ahead of these events, initial police deployments seem not to be able to prevent the violence from escalation.
Their training is not such that go and die. No. The police will always want to arrest, and the prosecution is low also. Why? Because a lot of the miscreants got through the net. It's the prevention aspect. Prevention does not mean that always when there is a riot before the police go in to prevent crime. They must make sure that the crime doesn't start at all.
So far, our intelligence is on the ground, and we are trying to figure out the names that surfaced during the investigations. We are still calling on them that Homowo is a festival. It is not a battlefield, and therefore they should desist from all kinds of violence during Homowo.
In most of the instances, there have been underlying issues that have been there for years,
and people would want to wait till when it gets to the Homowo celebration to show what power they've got. Dr. Njudanso believes these are issues that must be addressed in the short term.
Every such sprinkling and that kind of thing must be accompanied by police protection. The jurisdiction must be well demarcated. Or we must change the modus operandi, the way we sprinkle the people. We may restrict it to some, well, the fetish area or maybe the chief's palace, and it's already done, and people can now start their Homowo. All these things for the sake of peace. But in the long term, I think what I'll suggest is that chiefs in this country need to start commissioning people to write their history.
The Regional Police Command is investigating the clashes, with one person arrested in the Omanjo case. Also, an injunction has been secured against subsequent non-traditional outdoor and public event in Teshi.
The celebration of Homowo cannot go without the rituals, especially the sprinkling of the pokwe, which symbolizes the communion between the living, the dead, and the ancestral spirit. But in doing so, we cannot continue to lose precious lives. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Accra.
And that's how we take our first break here on News 360. We're back with more stories after the break. Stay with us.
but connect Ashanti region to Western North, Ahafo, Bono and Bono East regions. Community leaders have repeatedly petitioned local and national authorities, pleading for the project to be revisited and completed. Portion of the road, which was started in December 2024, has developed serious potholes, making driving uncomfortable for motorists. Now, this road project, completed less than a year ago, is rapidly moving from bad to worse, causing growing concern among users. The current state of the road is raising serious questions about its construction quality and long-term viability. This is a shoddy and unacceptable use of public funds. This work is not fit for purpose and must be completely redone to a proper standard. You can't work on this road for a week without visiting the mechanics for repairs. The current state of the road is bad and must be fixed. Part of the road has also been left uncompleted, increasing travel time and leaving residents to grapple with dust.
Here to KGTI is just a 30-minute drive, but we spend over hours here getting to, and our cars are getting spoiled and everything. So please, Mr. President, we need your help. Come to our aid so that our road will be fixed very well. And I think we need to change the contractor. I don't know. He's not working so efficient.
The contractor, Asabia Construction, says the project was designed to be executed in phases, but financial constraint has caused delays in the final asphalting and completion of work.
We've gotten to the last change of kilometer 16.8. We promised the whole road. We've done our median, we've done our curbs, we've done everything. We're only waiting for the asphalt to be laid. Oh, maximum, within the next 3 months, they will see us laying the asphalt on the road.
While there have been occasional assurances, these have yet to translate into tangible action on the ground. The Ghana Highway Authority says it is expecting the contractor to return to the site to complete the project. But for the people who use this road every day, that promise will be judged only when the machinery arrives and the repairs begin. This road, linking several communities in the Atumakwa district and beyond, now stands as a symbol of neglect due to years of abandonment. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Ashanti region.
From carpenters to tailors to electricians and masons, Ghana's artisans form the backbone of the informal economy. Yet they are often criticized for missed deadlines and poor delivery. It has become a common joke. Give him 2 weeks, expect it in 2 months. But is this stereotype fair? Enyonam Haliga explores why the Ghanaian craftsmen always seem to disappoint.
They are everywhere, in roadside shops, small workshops and makeshift yards. Ghana's craftsmen shape furniture, sew clothes and build homes. But for many customers, the story is the same. Promises made, deadline missed, expectations crushed.
Before I get up and say, do this for me, it means that I'm prepared. And I needed the thing on time. So if you disappoint me, I will definitely get annoyed.
I get very disappointed when this happens. I put my hopes on the clothes to use for a particular occasion and they disappoint me.
To me, just you have to tell the person, say, I can't do it.
But why does this keep happening? Part of the challenge is funding. Most artisans learn through apprenticeship. They pick up the skill, but rarely the discipline of deadlines, customer care, business ethics, or adequate funding.
Sometimes we agree on an amount, and when they make a deposit, we use the money for other pending works, and that is what brings the problem.
You might give a timeline of 2 weeks to a customer, but the materials needed for the work may not be ready within the time frame. You can finish the work, and they won't come for it on time, so there is no other option than to sell it and make new one for you.
The result? A growing mistrust that pushes many Ghanaians towards import-draining resources away from the local hands. But not every craftsman disappoints. Across Ghana, some artisans are breaking the stereotypes, delivering on time with quality that rivals imports. The difference is professionalism, structure, and accountability.
Because they are not certain that they will get a job tomorrow to do, they kind of jump onto any new job that comes their way. He's going to promise you he's going to start the job tomorrow, but he's not going to start tomorrow. We always wished that facility owners engage them in formal contracts. When you do that, the person knows that he or she can be taken on, especially when terms of contracts are not met.
The way forward is clear. Invest in structured training and force contracts and reward artisans who deliver. Only then will the stereotype begin to fade. For now, the Guinean craftsman remains caught between skills and skepticism. Until discipline matches talent, the old saying may continue. Give him 2 weeks, expect it in 2 months. In Yunam Haliga, TV3 News, Accra.
Give him 2 weeks, expect it in 2 months. Sometimes stop even expecting it anyways. The Ghana Health Service is to undertake mass drug administration program against neglected tropical diseases (NTDs) on September 7. The exercise is expected to take place in 79 districts across the country. Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Asidu says the service is targeting some 6.3 million people across the country for the exercise.
The 2025 Initiative for Integrated Mass Drug Administration will target diseases such as lymphatic filariasis, schistosomiasis, and onchocerciasis nationwide. These are neglected tropical diseases, NTDs, that can be prevented and treated. The diseases are commonly found in poor communities and contribute to stigma and poverty. For instance, onchocerciasis, commonly known as river blindness, affects the skin. It is transmitted by black flies that breed in fast-flowing rivers. The disease is endemic in 149 districts. The mass drug administration will be carried out on Sunday, September 7 to September 20. Program Manager of the Neglected Tropical Diseases, Dr. Joseph Labi-Opare, said recent surveys suggest the burden of the disease has reduced significantly owing to the mass administration conducted.
From a recent survey in 2017, we found out that the prevalence of onchocerciasis was less than 1% in many of these districts, between 2 to 20%, very few, and in some places 0%. That is why we have initiated Stop Onco Mass MDA in some districts.
Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Asidu said the mass administration will target 79 onchocerciasis endemic districts across 15 regions.
Preventing and controlling NTDs is essential for eradicating extreme poverty within the next 2 decades. Onchocerciasis, schistosomiasis, and lymphatic filariasis are 3 NTDs that can effectively be targeted through integrated community treatment approach. This method utilizes safe and effective drugs that can be administered by trained non-health persons. This is known as mass drug administration.
Let's now bring you some sports news right here on News360.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle, from the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital,
from the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom,
reporting from Sunyani, from the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds, the moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, We bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Sports segment is brought to you by
Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bole. Now, Ibrahim Sulemana will leave the Black Stars camp this evening and will return to Bologna for further assessments on the injury he picked up before the 2026 World Cup qualifier against Chad on Thursday. The midfielder sustained an injury to his right knee during training in N'Djamena on Wednesday and couldn't feature for Ghana in the game on Thursday. He's also not available for the match against Mali, hence his early release from camp to return to Italy for further assessment. Now, his place has been taken by Spain-based midfielder Kwesi Sibo, who arrived in camp on Saturday morning to join the rest of the squad for preparations towards that game on Monday. Moving on to some other stories, the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Yawan Pofuankra, has revealed the cost of maintenance and security influenced the current ticket prices for the 2026 World Cup qualifier between Ghana and Mali. The game is expected to take place at the Accra Sports Stadium on Monday, and Ankra spoke in an exclusive on Warmer Plus.
It's not been done before. This is the highest rates that has ever been put out there. But we also need to remember that we're short of a certain number of seats. We also need to remember that we need to pay for a lot of costs, you know, in running not just the stadium, but there are other facility needs and services that need to be paid for. So the idea is that those who can afford and those who would want premium viewing, and that means that we need to provide something extra when they get in. Yeah. Let's price it at that amount, which would be the least numbers sold at 1,000, then you bring it down to 100, and of course you come to 200, and then 150, and then 30. Yeah. The last time around against Chad, it was 10 cities for the popular stand. Yeah. And it was crazy. You saw the scenes out there. Yeah. We had thousands of people outside wanting to get in because the match was not shown on TV. So the desire to watch the Black Stars was huge. You know, it took a lot of security effort to ensure that we didn't have any stampedes.
Moving on to the world of boxing, Ghanaian boxer Freezy McBones, in an exclusive on Warmer Plus, revealed his confidence ahead of his upcoming bout against Russian Artemogym Kasparian for the IBO Continental Light Heavyweight title. McBones has won all 11 fights in his professional career, whilst Kasparian is unbeaten in 12 bouts. The bout is expected to take place on October 4th.
This opponent has come from Russia, but he was born in Russia, grew up in Russia, but live in Netherlands, and now he lives in UK. Okay. He's a tough opponent, right? He had 12 fights, 10 knockouts, right? Atom Kaspala, right? This guy is not a joke. He's serious. I just watch his fight, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I like. Because I don't like easy food, yeah? I want everyone to see that.
Hard meat.
Patriotias, that is what I'm going for it. So I make a decision that, you know what? I need to start my my camp earlier.
Yes.
So I've been in Ghana for 2 months now, training, and during the training, I had opportunity to have another fight in the coast of Afro as well. So that also keep you going, you know, you not be, not just sit there chilling and stuff like that, you know. So far so good, and big thanks to Faith Rip in Joru and Good Box in Cantonment.
Now let's move on to the world of tennis, where world number 1 Yannick Sinner and number 2 Carlos Alcaraz will meet in a third straight Grand Slam final on Sunday at the US Open. Alcaraz came from 2 sets down to beat Sinner in the Roland Garros final, and the Italian returned the favor by beating the Spaniard in 4 sets in the Wimbledon final. Now Sinner is the defending US Open champion, while Alcaraz won in New York in 2022. Alcaraz is yet to drop a set heading to this final, while Sinner has beaten top opponents along the way, including fellow countryman Lorenzo Musetti. Now here's what the pair said ahead of the game.
To keep that level really high during the whole match. So I'm thinking I'm doing that in this tournament, which I'm really proud about. And let's see. So, but yeah, probably I'm just getting mature. I just getting to know myself much better, what I need off the court, the things that I'm doing off the court. I think I'm doing really well, which help a lot then to play our best tennis. So I think it's getting better.
Carlos. We bump each other at times. I don't know if we are happy or not, but no, I think it's great. You know, we have, as I always say, we have a great relationship, also off the court, and everything is fine. You know, between him and me, and also, you know, all teams. You know, my team and their team. We are just working hard, but in the same time, we are also normal people. You know, so it's great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen.
Let's now take a look at what is happening elsewhere around the world. Donald Trump has warned that if Venezuelan jets fly over U.S. naval ships and puts it in a dangerous position, they will be shot down. The president's warning comes after Venezuela flew military aircraft near a U.S. vessel off South America for the second time in 2 days. The reports follow a U.S. strike against what Trump officials said was a drug-carrying vessel from Venezuela operated by a gang, killing 11 people. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has said that the U.S. allegations about his country are not true, and that differences between the nations do not justify a military conflict. Since his return to office in January, Trump has steadily intensified his anti-drug trafficking efforts in Latin America. Trump went on to say that drugs are pouring into the U.S. from Venezuela and that members of the Tren de Aragua, a gang proscribed as a terrorist organization in the U.S., were living there. South Korea's government has held an emergency meeting and vowed to swiftly respond to the arrests of hundreds of its citizens in a massive immigration raid at a Hyundai plant in the U.S. Seoul has dispatched diplomats to the site in Georgia, while LG Energy Solution, which operates the plant with Hyundai, said it was suspending most business trips to the U.S. U.S. officials detained 475 people, mostly South Korean nationals, who they said were found to be illegally working at the battery facility, one of the largest foreign investment projects in the state. The White House defended the operation, dismissing concerns that the raid could deter foreign investment. And that's it for today's edition of News 360. You can find more news on 3news.com. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Ayisha Yakubu.
And I am Noble Crosby Annan. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.